Sam would embrace it and be helpful. He'd also go out and work hard and try to make the most of the opportunity to play this year. All of this, and we've talked about this at some length today, but you know what just jumped into my head? And Mel Kiper, I'm coming right to you in the moments we have left. I just read a promo for First Take. They're coming up and they're going to debate whether Justin Fields should go ahead of Zach Wilson in this draft. So I will ask you, are the Jets even taking the right quarterback number 2 if that is indeed what they do? Mel Kiper.
As far as my ratings are concerned, no, Justin Fields is the second best quarterback, but they don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do, and a lot of people agree that Zach Wilson is the second best quarterback. I find all the things we talked about today, the interesting thing to me is, guys, what I glean from all this is we're talking about great quarterbacks, potential great superstars, young and relatively young quarterbacks in the AFC that have a tremendously high ceiling, and we have 3 iconic organizations that have, I think, between them 6 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that need to figure out the quarterback position. That would be New England, Pittsburgh, and Denver. Is Drew Lock the right guy? Could Sam Darnold come in there and provide competition? What happens in Pittsburgh? Who's the heir apparent to Big Ben? And New England trying to figure it out. So where are these 3 organizations that have won big in this league and have had Hall of Fame core? Where are they 3-4 years from now? It's going to be really a wild ride to see where they end up, because we know they're great organizations, but right now there are 3 organizations that have to figure out their young quarterback moving forward, who that guy will be.
I'm going to try and get everybody in if I can. And Schefter, I'm starting with you. I feel like we've been acting on this show and other places like it's a foregone conclusion the Jets are taking Zach Wilson at number 2. So if I tell you that, what do you say back to me?
I say it's tracking that way right now because there are no absolutes around the draft. We don't know if there's another team that's going to make them an offer. We don't know if all of a sudden during this process in the next 3+ weeks they'll come to the conclusion that they should be going a different direction. But I think today, if they were making the pick today, Greeny, I think today the pick would be Zach Wilson. Let's see what happens in the next 3.5 weeks. But that's the pick that, to me, they are on track to make, and there's still a lot that can happen between now and then.
And so, Dan, I'd ask you the same question. You're looking at tape. You're breaking down all these guys. If they make it Wilson over Fields or anybody else, is that the right decision for the Jets to make?
Yeah, because he's got more uncoachable traits. And the reality is that the Jets coaching staff went there because of their interest in Sam Darnold and his style of play and his talent. And Zach Wilson has a lot of similarity to his game. And so if they are going to move on from Sam Darnold, then the pick is Zach Wilson because of those uncoachable traits, those throws that when the quarterback is making that decision and he's starting to go, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And all of a sudden he does that and you go, all right, that worked out. That's pretty sweet. But I have been adamant, and I'm going to say it till the night of the draft and probably for the next year. He better be as good off the field as his talent says he is on the field. That would be the most important thing for the Jets.
And the flip side of it is sometimes that talent has gotten Darnold in trouble. He was turnover prone in college, and he's been turnover prone in the NFL despite having had very little around him. Domonique, a final word. What is your big picture take on the whole thing?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter necessarily how well we evaluate these quarterbacks. I think they're all close in talent, but I think the thing we should take away from this is that the context and the situation matter above all else. We look at the most recent success stories, the guys being drafted at quarterback position into the NFL. There are players who ended up in great situations with great coaches, good offensive line, great receivers around them. That's true of all the guys that we've seen had success recently, from Josh Allen to Lamar Jackson to Dak Prescott to all those guys. Good point. It's more about the situation than it is about the player.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.